Welcome to Cut the BS with Holly and Rachel.
We are here to help you ditch the overwhelm, stop second guessing, and reconnect with what truly fuels your body, your mind, and your life.
No fluff, no filters, just real talk that helps you feel strong, aligned, and unstoppable. Whether you're on a walk, commuting, or sipping your favorite matcha, this is your space. Welcome to another episode of Cut the BS. My name is Rachel, aka Ray Ray, aka Bon Bon, and with me is my favorite curly-headed cutie,
Holly, aka Holly.
aka Holly Ramsey. So, welcome to this episode. We're going to start off with a new segment called
Drumroll, please.
BS That's Happened to Me This Week. So, in this segment, Holly and I will share, indeed, BS that's happened to us this week. Holly, I'll let you go first.
Well, I really didn't have much going on this week that was like major BS alert, to be honest. And then I'm so sad that the audience couldn't join us for my overstimulation nation as I was preparing for this podcast here. So that was my BS number one, was just preparing for the podcast.
Yes, the cords were sticking together.
Yeah. Chaos, guys. And for those who don't know, probably most people, we just moved into a new place. So like just getting set up, getting the little studio, if you will, set up for the first time. It's a learning curve for sure. Ignore the bare walls. What's some inspo we should put here? I'm thinking like really girly pop, wall art, you know?
Yes. I'm
We'll
here for
see.
all.
The evolution. Who knows how long that will take? But
The evolution of the wall.
Anyways, what's some BS that has happened to you, Rachel?
Let me pull out my long list here. And, Holly and I were talking about this segment whilst dealing with all the BS that life throws at us, right? So, long list of BS that's happened to me. And this first one, it seems to happen a little more often than I feel like it should. And it's the simple fact that curbs hit me often. They
just come out of the ground.
Jump out at me and come for me. And I'm just sick of it. Okay? Sick of it. And there are so many other side stories that I could tell you guys about curbs hitting me. I'll spare you. But just know, I think it's rude. I think it's inconsiderate. And honestly, it's a waste of my time. So if they can just stay in their lane,
Literally.
then I think my day would be better.
For sure.
Other BS that's happened to me this week. Forgot to wear deodorant twice this week to work.
And as we know, Rachel is a sweaty girl. You have said it here in the pod before.
Okay, but it is like it's not the middle of summer here, so like I'm really not a sweaty girl in this moment.
Okay.
But I am 30 years old and a grown woman and should remember to put on some damn deodorant. So here we are.
Sure. I'm shocked that you don't have like bags with deodorant in them. We live and we learn.
I might have to put a little spare stick in my work bag because there is a spare stick in every other bag. Just
the
not
one
my work
bag that you had that didn't
naturally.
have it. And that's also BS because that always happens too, I feel like.
Right.
But
not one day. Okay, forget the one day. The second day?
This is true.
Learn from your mistakes, Ray. Dear God. What's something else? In relation to nutrition, my worst enemy and my bestie, all in the same life. There was one evening I had some macros left on the day and was feeling a little snacky, and I'm like, I have two choices. One choice is to give myself some meaningful, wholesome, nutrient-dense food to finish out my day. Did I choose that? No, I didn't. I actually, I did measure out So, like, we were mindful, but I definitely measured out some peanut butter and some Ghirardelli dark chocolate chips and ate that as if it was a whole snack meal.
It's like a
And
Reese's, just homemade. So really, if you really, really sit here and allow yourself to think about it was healthy.
right. And if you don't know, now you know. You know I'm a Reese's girl. And it was just honestly delightful, and I have no regrets.
Yeah. On that note, really quickly, um, with dates, you know how we always do, like, you fill it with peanut butter, you cover it with some chocolate?
Mhm.
Well, I was on a little crunch of a timeline, and I just melted the peanut butter and the chocolate together and then just dipped it all in one go.
That's
Genius.
that is honestly
Life changing.
that is a valid idea that I will now be trying.
Yeah.
Love that.
And for those of you out there who like dates, if you don't, this is not the conversation for you,
Right.
unfortunately.
And why don't you?
But,
Anyway.
and yeah, let's be so for real. Uh, Walmart sells them like pre pitted. Do you know how much I appreciate that? Because the stickiness of dates sends me over the edge. I'm
My
not
friend is overstimulated by the stickiness of everything.
of everything. I am just, again, overstimulation nation is
Right.
where I reside more often than not,
Huh.
unfortunately.
Right.
We'll work on that.
Another just a little small note, on my, nutrition BS that's happened to me today. Um, did I make a four-year-old's dinner 2 nights in a row and have a carb-balanced tortilla stuffed with rotisserie chicken and reduced fat cheese and dip it in my buffalo ranch sauce? Yeah, I did. And I also have no regrets because not only is it tasty, but it's also 47 carbs, 23 grams of fat, and 61, let me repeat that again, 61 grams of protein. So she fits. If it belongs to a 4-year-old, that's, your decision to make. But it was delicious, and I asked for it twice for dinner to the point where Kaylin was like, "Can we do something else?" And I'm like, "No, I want that."
That and only that will suffice,
Right.
actually. You know
So,
what? And if it works and it's the ease of that meal, that's everything.
prepware. We don't
Yeah.
know her. We don't need to know her in this moment.
No, absolutely not.
So now let's dive a little deeper into what we're actually here to talk about today. And that is whether it's your friend or your foe, modern medicine is what we're going to be talking about today. And we're going to be talking about it in a very specific way because, Holly and I are both wellness coaches. We promote healthy lifestyle, we promote balance, we promote, good nutrition, fueling our bodies. We promote all of the health and wellness things, which obviously is usually directly correlated to going to the doctor, doing certain things to improve your health or manage things that are going on with your health, etc. And so, Holly and I have talked a lot about band-aiding health issues. So, Holly, tell me a little bit about when we say band-aiding health issues, what do we really mean?
You see this quite often, but it's quite literally just putting a pill more often than not, putting someone on a pill of some sort to fix the issue. But more often than not, we're not really getting to the root cause of what is actually causing this issue, whether that be blood pressure or high cholesterol or low iron or, something that we're seeing, I think, more and more. And maybe it's slowing down now, but I think you and I, Rachel, were really like a big generational push, and this was birth control. You have bad
Mhm.
acne, you have bad period cramps, like anything hormonal related, birth control was the band aid.
Right.
And listen, I will be the first person to say it. I'm not against birth control. I myself, as a 26-year-old woman, am on birth control. I'm not against all birth control, but it can sometimes be used as a band aid. So when we say band aid, we're talking about just kind of slapping on a quick fix and not getting to the root cause of why are we experiencing these symptoms.
Right.
and what can we do to fix that?
Right. And, I think too, with that, the slapping on of certain prescriptions and things like that, I looked up and saw that the average doctor's appointment is 7 to 15 minutes long. It's not a very long time to get to know somebody, let alone what's going on.
And
And
it's one time a year typically.
yes, it's usually once a year, your annual physical. And I have actually been in a doctor's office where I saw literally the doctor put a timer on her phone and laid it on the desk before she started speaking to me. Excuse me? I just thought that was rude. Not very professional.
No, that's crazy.
And I do know for a fact that, which I'm soon to get to look for a different practitioner, but I do know that in the doctor's office I have been going to, they do that. Like they all put timers on. And I get it, like you wanna be timely, but also like, I don't know. I just feel like don't at least don't let me see it. Like if you're gonna
Right, right.
like just, have
Maybe
it
have
on your
something on the
computer.
outside, yeah, that, like, you click before you go in, maybe?
Yeah, and
Like
also like 7 to 15 minutes, like for that being the average doctor's appointment. I don't know about you, but like I go in with notes. Like, when I go into the doctor's office, I go in with notes of everything I wanna talk about because I do only go once a year, and so I try to be efficient with my time.
right, you're like, "I know we only have this time. I'm gonna make it as efficient as possible."
Right, right, and health is something that is so important to me, so, like, which, I have grown to be at a point where I take that whole annual physical with a grain of salt because of reasons we are going to mention in this episode.
I think it's worth mentioning in the current era of the United States, chronic illness is at an all-time high,
Yeah.
and we're kinda gonna get into this, but it's just like, again, if we're just slapping a Band-Aid on a symptom and not getting into, "Well, why is this going on?" That the chronic illnesses are not gonna go anywhere if we're not changing behavior
Right.
and changing what is causing said issue. And now, this isn't to say, like, I do feel like we should preface this with, like, we're not condoning going to the doctor, and we're not saying that there's not a place for medicine. I think we're coming from again, what are our lifestyle factors that could be contributing to this?
Right.
And what can we as the individual do before getting on meds?
Right. Because the meds, typically, you have to take them for the rest of your life. As you can do something else for the rest of your life, like, make some changes. There are factors that we can't control that cause illnesses or cause like things happen with your health that is not your fault and isn't really linked to something that you've done or not done. And so, just like Holly said, like reiterating, like there is a time and place. But I think the caveat is if you can make a change in your lifestyle to where you don't need medication, like you don't need lisinopril, or you don't need your statin, or you don't need a GLP-1 for your A1C, then why not do that? I mean, it's just, and the reason people don't do that is because it's not the easiest option. I mean, that's just, I think, or maybe they are not educated to the point where they know that they can do something about it.
Mhm.
So,
Yeah.
input our podcast. Hello.
Yeah, hello, here we are. And something that I think, and I don't have a lot of personal experience with going to the doctor, I'm not gonna lie to you guys. Outside of having to have the physical for high school volleyball and field hockey, I I didn't go to the doctor. We had a cold, we had the flu, whatever. You're gonna get over that. My mom didn't take us to the doctor. We didn't get put on an antibiotic for like silly little things. Um, and it wasn't until this past November that I finally got established with primary care. So I don't have a lot of experience with like needing medication, but I think a lot of times I hear, well, it's genetics. This can hold a truth. And, well, how can I say this respectfully?
Just say it. Just say it.
Laziness is not genetics. Maybe it's the way you were raised, but it is not genetics.
W
So fix that. Be better. Break generational, cycles.
Right. Like, and I know that Holly and I are not discrediting that genetics play a role. They definitely do. Like, you're predisposed to certain things. There are genes that are turned on and off in your body. We are all different, and we all have different things that are turned on and off that are usually, by the way, turned on and off by lifestyle. Now, again, that's not everything. There are most certainly, some like conditions that are genetic and there's nothing you can do about it. Um, but for what most of America struggles with, being hypertension, obesity, type 2 diabetes, those are not genetic. You might be predisposed genetically, but your lifestyle will decide whether you have it or not.
And with that, like going back to how you were talking about, you don't like more often than not, a medicine is a medicine for life if you're not making lifestyle changes,
Yeah.
whether that's the goal or not with your doctor, whatever. But maybe you are predisposed. So maybe you're kind of doomed and you have to be on some sort of blood pressure medication for the rest of your life. But could you be on the lowest dose
Yeah.
by implementing lifestyle factors? Dose
Yeah.
matters, just like
Yeah.
it matters for how much chocolate we're consuming and how much spinach we're
Not the
consuming and
chocolate.
all of the things.
Not the
Dose is always
chocolate.
going to matter. So the same thing matters in medicine. Can we find the lowest dose we can be on, see improvement, and pair it with lifestyle changes?
Yeah.
There's room for everything to coexist. And unfortunately, there's no prescription. I mean, there is a prescription for exercise that in general is a pretty good guideline. But we can't go to the pharmacy and submit that. We gotta submit that to ourselves and do the damn work. And again,
Right.
that's unfortunately not the easy route to go.
And oftentimes, when taking medications, first of all, and I know, and we all know, everyone who's watching this knows, like when you're taking a medication, there are side effects. And a lot of times those side effects are negative. And so oftentimes, we'll get on a medication, we'll have these negative side effects that are just really not working with us. And so then another prescription will be assigned to mask those side effects, but then they come with other side. It's like a never-ending cycle of medication, negative side effects, need to fix the negative side effects, another medication, but then there are negative side effects to that medication. Like it's just and I've seen that happen a lot, like, especially in the elderly population, like, the geriatric age. Like, these people are on, 4 and 5 medications, and 2 of them are to fix the problems that the first 2 are causing.
A medicine should not cause you to have a medicine. I mean, it
Right.
should. That's science, right? Like, again, I'm not arguing the way medicine works, but it's
Yeah.
unfortunate that that's the way that it is. And again, can we not have to be on a minimum of 5 pills per day for the rest of our life?
I think our main goal with this podcast is just to encourage all of our viewers that you should feel empowered that you can make a change if you are on medication, especially medication that's directly linked to like a lifestyle disease or a condition. Um, you know, and even myself, like when I was in college, I got put on a birth control that caused me to be extremely hypertensive because sometimes when women are on a birth control that raises their estrogen, it can cause hypertension, and it did with me. And so I was like, I don't even remember what my numbers were. It was like 180 over 100, something nuts. Yeah, something nuts to where it's like, I'm sorry, am I okay?
And mind you,
And
you're actively working out too, like
yeah, actively
playing
working out,
volleyball, like
eating like
doing
shit.
all the things.
Eating like shit, but, like, actively working out, like, at a healthy weight, all the things. Um, and what did the doctor wanna do? Put me on lisinopril instead of just switch my birth control. And I was like, is there, like, a different birth control? Obviously, at this point, I'm, like, 19 years old, I don't know anything. I'm like, "Is there, like, a different one that, like, won't cause this?" And so she put me on a different one. I mean, and that story goes on and on.
Again, you're only getting 17 to 15 minutes. They don't have all the time to go through all of the research with you.
I just went to the doctor to get labs done. Mind you, I had to, like, kind of push for extra labs, because they usually just do, like, the general regular degular, and I was like, "No," like, I did my own research of some things that I need to look at, and I was like, "No, like, I actually want some other ones as well, like, can I do this panel, this panel?" Now granted, it took me having to look up what the different panels are that doctor's offices typically do, and so she
We use
did them.
typically very lightly too, typically,
Yeah.
but
Yeah.
we had to beg.
Yeah, typically we had to beg. And it turns out, I asked for a full iron panel because normally they'll just check your hemoglobin, which is like, again, could be talking out the side of my neck right now, but like I'm pretty sure it's just like what iron is circulating in your blood. But then you have your iron stores, which is your ferritin. And look, everybody in my life knows that Rachel's ferritin is low. Okay, because she's upset about it. She's upset.
Y'all, I
Um,
got a 5-minute video about this. And you best bet I listened and watched to every single second, but
right.
we know.
Yes. I'm so upset about it. Not upset, but just like, I'm glad I know, but also like, be so for real. Like, I try so hard to eat so well and still, you know, life will life and nobody's perfect. I got to work it again and again till I get it right. And
Guys, we gotta recap the anniversary at the end of this. Let us
we
not
will.
forget.
We will. Don't you worry. So we did the labs. Mind you, the extra labs I asked for ended up showing that I did have extremely low ferritin of a 12, mind you, which is very low. But see, it's what comes after that sends me. It sends me. Uh, I got a message on my chart. Hey, we're gonna you can get a iron supplement over the counter. Take this iron supplement. Mind you, the iron supplement she suggested is the harshest iron supplement you can get, like the harshest. And by harsh, I mean when you take an iron supplement, for those of you that haven't taken it, it causes a lot of digestion distress. 10 don't recommend. But I messaged her back and I was like, I know that this is a really harsh form of iron. Like, is there a gentler solution or one that you would recommend? I'm just not really interested, because I've taken that before and I just did not have a good experience.
Which, if she had asked, she would probably know that if she had more time to
Well,
dig
we did
into.
talk about it. We did talk about it,
That's
briefly.
crazy.
So I'm like, "Where were your notes, ma'am?" You said, "Can AI
Yeah.
take notes?" I said, "Sure." What did AI pick it up, girl?
AI didn't consider that important. Her
Clearly.
ears should have been listening. Just oh my god, that actually really pisses me off. She said, "Can AI take notes?" I would said, "Oh baby, no.
You need to,
You need to
ma'am.
take notes, and you might as well just record this whole interaction so we can listen
Right, go
back
back and
too."
watch it, take some yeah.
Yeah,
Anyway,
this is a lecture hall. Anyways,
so so I asked her for a gentler form. Mind you, we're just texting away on my chart because she's taking a whole business day to respond to me, whatever.
right.
I'm sure she's busy. And she's like, "Well, the other solution would be IV supplementation, meaning I would go into a lab and they would shove a needle in my arm and shoot iron up into my veins." And I'm like, I don't know. Which, granted, I'm not phobic of needles, whatever, do what you have to do. I've been to the lab so many damn times. At this point, put my picture on the wall, you know? But also, no thanks. Again, gentler form. How is shoving a needle in my arm gentler? I guess on my digestive
Yeah.
system it would be, but whatever. And I was like, I don't really think IV is, like, an option for me right now. Like, is there a gentler over the counter that you would recommend? Tell me why this girl responded and was like, "Yes, there are gentler forms over the counter that you can find." That's all she wrote.
She thinks you're being difficult, is what she thinks.
And now, am I? A little. Sure, compared to the average Joe. But listen, I am not gonna put anything in my body that's gonna disrupt a bunch of other things just to, like, now granted, I when before she told me that there are gentler forms and didn't give me, like, a recommendation or anything, I told her, I was like, I've been tracking my food for the last 2 months. My average iron intake is this. My average calcium intake is this, and my average vitamin C intake is this." Now, mind you, my vitamin C intake has been wildly inconsistent, according to some, which I feel like is a little rude, but whatever. It is. Like, I haven't been taking in a lot of vitamin C. I haven't been, like, going to the fruit a lot, which is, like, that's just something I haven't been doing. Like, it's not a
Yeah.
sin,
I think,
but, like,
yeah, it ebbs and flows, you know?
well, I gave her that information in hopes that she could give me more solutions, and she just kinda didn't.
Yeah.
Like, I wasn't trying to come from a place of, like, I know more than you, but I just feel like I would have rather her kinda tried to work with me and, like, "Let's figure this out together," instead of like, yeah, you can find something else over the counter. Have fun." Like,
Yeah.
so here we are. I'm going to do some whole food supplementation, I believe, like some beef liver. Super excited about that. Um And we'll see how it goes, I think also I'm gonna be more intentional because caffeine and calcium can block absorption. So I'm gonna, like, be more mindful of when I'm having my coffee or my matcha. I'm gonna be more mindful of, like, when I'm having dairy. So we're just gonna be a little more mindful, and I'm gonna retest in 3 to 6 months and see where it's at.
And, like, in theory, like, you're having caffeine and milk at the same time. So
Right.
I wonder too if that's, like, a double whammy.
Yeah. Well, they say about 2 hours before/after caffeine or calcium consumption, it can block absorption. So, if I have a really good breakfast and I just delay my coffee, which is what I did today and it was terrible, um, then that works. So, I think I'm just gonna do that and just, like, suck it up and try to
Mhm.
try to to get it in. Um, but at the end of it, I can do bad all by myself, and Imma fix my iron all by myself. And if that doesn't work, we go into a Chinese doctor because I'm sick of this Western medicine shit. China, here I
For
come.
real, literally. And that's where, I think there's, like, these new services of I forget what they're calling themselves, but it's basically subscription-based doctors. And that I love the idea. I think it's inaccessible to a lot, unfortunately. Um, but I think that's where something like that, where they're working with, a more limited client base.
Yeah.
They have more time, they have more attention. They seem to be more in that, like, functional medicine realm too. But again, there are a lot of barriers there,
Yeah.
unfortunately, to functional medicine in general, whether it's subscription based or not.
Well, and I think my overall goal for, like, my own personal health journey is I wanna find a doctor that's a doctor, but that will just work with the fact that I'm crunchy granola and I like to do things the old-fashioned way. Like, it's who I am, and it's your job as my practitioner to work with me. So,
Mhm.
like, I need someone that can be on board with that, and I just haven't found it yet. Now granted, I also was going to, like, Miami, which is, like, talk about your corporate America of a hospital system. So I think I just maybe need to find, like, a private practice or someone that doesn't have as big of a client base so they can actually, I don't know, not put a timer on their phone when I'm trying to tell them
Yeah.
all of my things.
It's crazy to me. That's just the American healthcare system for us.
Right. Yeah, welcome. If you're up for moving out of the country, I'm coming with. Let's get out of here, shall we?
Yeah.
So many
Yeah.
things. Yeah, I think it's just important to ask questions, and Lord knows I'm gonna ask questions. Why? Can you explain that to me?
Yeah. I'm gonna be a 3-year-old up in there. Why? But
Can I get a
why?
definition, please? Can you use it in
Yeah.
a sentence?
Yeah, and don't feel bad about that, and if you run into a doctor like you ran into who's just like, "Well, you could do this. There's gentler ones." Maybe that's your sign that that doctor is, not the
Not
match for you, and unfortunately, you learn the hard way and, on to the
it's
next.
kind of like, with any practitioner, whether it's a therapist, a doctor, even at like a dietitian, even like a trainer, like whatever it is, sometimes you have to trial and error until you find your person. And
I knew somebody who had previously been in a very high stress situation with work, and she started to experience, like, some sort of autoimmune-based response,
yeah.
and she was trying to get a diagnosis. Eventually, work stress stopped being work stress, and the rashes went away, digestion issues went away, like, all of the issues that were once issues went away when she reduced the stress, and so I don't think we hit home enough, honestly. I feel like y'all hear us talk about it, but, like, when we say stress management is so important, stress management is so important. It's not because it's causing cortisol face. It's
Mhm.
not, because it's just nobody wants to feel anxious and overstimulated, like, da da da. No, like, it can literally trigger
Can literally kill
autoimmune
you. Yeah.
responses.
Yeah.
Yeah. And not just high blood pressure, like, that can be a side effect for sure, but so many other things when you are constantly putting your body under stress, and as women doing high impact training on top of
Mhm.
already stressful undertones, it's a recipe for absolute disaster. So again, I just, like, go back to the whole point of this podcast episode is, what are your individual lifestyle choices, and how is that contributing to outcomes, your health outcomes, and what can you do to manage that?
Absolutely. And speaking of stress management, April is Stress Management Awareness Month. So why don't we all just take a second during that month and just maybe take a chill pill? That's the pill you can take is a chill pill, okay?
Real.
And maybe do something that is just de-stressing. Get a massage, have a spa day, do a cold plunge, red light therapy, whatever. Like do something that's relaxing for you. So,
I would like to challenge everyone too to a I'll participate in this challenge myself. One day of no phone or no social media. I know sometimes no phone is really hard because, like, we do have to sometimes, use maps to get around the city we've lived in for 3 years. We won't talk about
okay.
that.
First of all,
Sometimes,
feel targeted.
oh, targeted me too, so it's okay. We are in it together.
Right.
We need to communicate with people. So, like, maybe just going away from your phone for a day too and watch how little overstimulation and stress you feel.
Yeah.
Stress management is honestly one of my favorite things to talk to clients about because it is
In
very
everyone's life.
overlooked. Yeah,
Yeah.
everyone needs it.
Yeah, literally.
And
So,
yeah, you don't need to always feel, as I was joking earlier about, it's always overstimulation nation around here. I promise it's really not. It's only when I haven't ate and I haven't hydrated and I've overcaffeinated.
crazy what
And
those
those
things
are
will do.
all self-inflicting things. So
They're all
I
your fault.
literally. But anything else, Rachel, before we get into the anniversary of it all?
No, I think that covers it. Be your own advocate, ask questions, and let us send a hope and a prayer that doctors will start to be more open to, you know, what the patient needs, um, above and beyond just a prescription.
Yeah. And don't undermine the changes that lifestyle factors can ultimately end up making.
Yeah.
And both things can coexist. Like we said earlier, it's not about not being on the pill. but can we be on the lowest possible dose
Yeah,
instead of trying to get to the highest possible?
for sure.
But okay, let us let us anniversary it out. First of all, what did you think? What are our overarching thoughts and opinions?
So, well, for one, I was low key like hoping for a whole like episode, like an actual like Hannah Montana episode. I don't know why that was what I was expecting. I didn't know what to expect.
Yeah.
It was good though. Like, I think it was great that we saw Alex Cooper. I think it was cool to see a lot of the things. Obviously, she has grown so much vocally, like she killed it, made all the songs better. I enjoyed it. I enjoyed it. It was a nice little sweet treat. Was I singing along on my couch? Yes, I was. Did my husband, first of all, my husband,
Wait, do you watch?
no, he did not watch. He was cooking. He was cooking while I was watching. He like watches me sometimes, which I guess is normal, but also like mind your business. And he says that when I'm watching something that I'm enjoying, that I like watch and I'll like have a smile on my face and I'll just like be watching and like entertained. And he's
I
like,
already know.
he thinks it's the funniest thing ever. And I'm like, leave me, like, go away.
Right.
Leave
Like
me
I need a
alone.
divider.
Let me enjoy it in peace.
But also I think that's so like cute of you to like just be like,
Hee hee hee. I think it's so like lame, but whatever. He can mind his own business. He literally like, he sat on the couch and imitated it. And I was like,
okay, that's one step too far. God forbid a girl be happy.
right, right. So what are
Rude.
your thoughts? What did you think?
I really loved the song element. I wanted more songs. I
Yeah,
thought it was going to be like a documentary esque vibe with more songs
yeah.
involved. So it kind of hit a little bit. I I guess I wish it wasn't so scripted and like it made me cringe when like her mom would be like they'd go into like another area on set and her mom would be like, "Oh my god, look, this is here." As if it was like accidentally placed there and here we are having this dialogue about it. As if that dialogue wasn't relatively
It
scripted.
did feel kind of fake, didn't it? Like the dialogue between her mom and
Yes.
her, it did feel kind of fake.
And
Some of
I
it did,
didn't like
some of it
that.
didn't.
Yeah. And I think they were all like meaningful conversations, but they still felt scripted and like,
Yeah,
okay, now you're going to say da da da, like you're Miley, you're going to initiate this conversation about this, you know?
yeah.
Um,
Yeah, I wish it had been again, like you said, I feel like I wish it had been more songs. Like, give me a whole concert, thank you, please and thank you.
no, seriously.
I do like that she wrote a song for the end, like, she wrote that
Mhm.
recently, like, if I'm not mistaken, so that was cool.
Which, by the
I
way,
don't
that came
know.
out today. I don't know if you saw that on Apple, but it finally got released where you can download it. I thought
No,
that
I
was a
didn't.
really beautiful song.
It was so beautiful, yeah, no, I agree.
Yeah.
It was a little too scripted and, like, it wasn't like, it was 45 minutes long, but, like, it it didn't have a lot in it, you know what I mean? Like, it was just kinda,
Yeah.
like, light.
Yeah. And I think, honestly, like, I'm not going to lie, I was disappointed. I was cheesing the whole time through.
Same.
And when I paused it and at like the 30-minute mark and saw that there was only 15 minutes left, I was like, but we're just opening it up.
Yeah,
Like,
like, this
how are
should
we already at the 15-minute remaining mark?
yeah,
This was my whole childhood. What do you mean we've
enti
wrapped it up and put it in
right.
bow in 40 minutes?
Yeah,
It's not
yeah.
sufficing, okay?
Yeah, it was not enough. I am not satisfied, it was not enough. Um, but
It's
I
just
will say, when Alex brought up the Jake and Jesse, like,
yeah.
love triangle, that was my jam. I loved that era, and I felt like I was in the story with her. I was like, "Oh my gosh, like, who's she gonna choose? Like, I don't
Oh,
know what she's gonna
yeah.
do." I was I was all for Jesse. I was wanting her to choose Jesse, which I think she ended up
Yeah.
choosing him later on, but
Um, I didn't really understand the whole Chapel Rowan of it all. Like, I understand the premise that, like, Chapel Rowan goes on stage as someone who she is not. Like that's not her, government name, if you will. But it just didn't connect for me. Maybe that's because I don't
I
like
think that's
Chapel
why.
Rowan. But
Is it Rowan or is it Chapel Roan?
oh well, hell if I know, because I'm not a fan.
Right, right. I think it is because she kind of like she lives the Hannah Montana life, but she doesn't. Like she's not secret.
Yeah, right,
Um,
exactly.
I think a big push for her to be in it was because, and this is just speculation, I think that Miley really like digs Chapel Roan's vibe. Like that's like that's a
For
Miley in the
sure.
Bangers era. That's like the esque
Yes.
that I'm getting. And so
So agree.
I feel like Miley wanted her in it because of that.
Yeah.
And because of like the stage name and blah blah whatever. And like all of the extravagant like whatever makeup that she does and turns into a different
Yeah.
person, whatever. Um so it definitely threw me off as well. I was like, "Huh?"
I just feel like we could have brought in better guests, honestly. And like love me some Selena Gomez, trust. But
I was thrown off by that
where
as well.
where were the relevant characters? What if we would have brought the boyfriends out?
Yeah, where was Jake and Jesse? The hell?
I
He
don't
could
know.
be the
Again,
one. I was singing that song until I was in college. I have no
wow.
shame. Have no shame. No shame.
That is quite the confession.
It's actually still on a playlist I have. I bet.
That's so valid though.
Like
That's
if
so
I go to
valid.
songs and I go to the first song that I ever downloaded onto Apple Music, it's not the first one, but it is on there.
Impressive. And that's on being a day one.
I mean, this was my capital J jam. Smooth talking, so rocking. I like know every word. Like, don't play with me. I
Yeah.
can be Hannah Montana right now if we need it.
We do. We need a curly headed Hannah Montana, as a matter of fact.
He's got everything that a girl's wanting. I like sends me back. That was an era.
Yeah, it was. And I think I just wanted more to relive that era, honestly.
I wanted it to last
But
forever.
it did satisfy. I told my friend, I said it satisfied the itch, or it scratched an itch, but it's like when you scratch a bug bite and you just need to itch it more. Like that's how I feel. I
Not the
just
crack
need
addict.
more.
Crack kills
Literally.
Holly.
Like, I
Like
need
I need another
more.
season. I don't know.
Yeah, I
Selena
need
Gomez
another
did it.
piece of the documentary. Um, I also was really hoping for like an album announcement at the end when Alex
Or
was like, "All right, well,
something.
you have something really special to share." Don't get me wrong, loved the song. I need more, dare I say? Okay,
Literally. Like we are still teenagers. Give us what we want.
give us what we want, okay? And I know she said she couldn't go on tour because how can you exclude people? I don't give a crap if we babies are there, okay? I don't care if these girls think they grew up on Hannah Montana. I know my truth, and that's all I know. That's all I need, you know?
My friend feels very passionately about this.
I
Yeah.
do. I do.
I was pleased. It was nice. Did I want more? Yeah. But
Will I be watching the Hannah Montana movie tonight? Yeah, I will actually.
gosh, one
Those
of
are
my
my
favorite
Friday
movies.
night
I've
plans,
watched it
guys.
so many times. I'm not kidding
Same.
you. After it aired or whatever, I was like, I should go back and watch the whole like Jake, Jesse love triangle episodes all over again because like it, that's what entertains me. Like from that, Vampire Diaries, The Summer I
Yeah.
Turned Pretty. Look, I'm a sucker for a torn between two people.
Yeah.
Um,
Once again, walked so that everything else could run.
yeah. So that's all I have.
That's all of our thoughts on the anniversary. That's all of our thoughts on modern medicine. And that's the BS that happened this week. And fret not, we will be back in the next episode. We'll catch y'all then.
You get the best. And that's a wrap on this episode of Cut the BS with Holly and Rachel. If today gave you a dose of clarity, confidence, or even just a good laugh, we've done our job.
Don't forget, wellness isn't about doing more. It's about doing what actually works for you. So take what hit home, leave the rest, and keep showing up as your strongest, realest self.
Be sure to follow, rate, and share this episode with someone who's ready to cut the BS and live with more intention. Until next time,